Hey, good morning, my friends. Oh, look, my hat's crooked. Oh, there we go. That's good enough. Anyway, good morning, my friends. Today is Friday, June 28th, 2024. I, of course, am here with Originator Success here with the Daily Mortgage Rate Update. Thank you for joining me. Remember, you can join me live each and every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, broadcast on Facebook and on the YouTube. If you're watching the replay, don't forget to give me a hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Whether you're here live or on the replay, don't forget to give us a thumbs up on Facebook, tag your LO friends, share this post in a group. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. You can also sign up for our free email lock advice to your inbox each and every weekday morning at www.ratelockadvice.com, unless GoDaddy shits the bed one more time and erases the forward like they've done 3 times this week already. But we keep checking it. If you have any problem, go and try it again. But anyway, www.ratelockadvice.com. You can sign up for our text alerts, www.ratetextalerts.com. You can also sign up for a live reminder for free at no charge to get reminded that I'm going live each day at hmmr.io/reminder. And you should go check us out at originatorssuccess.com. Set up a demo with my man Austin. Find out how we help you get loans from Google and social media. So, Mr. Ron Siegel, first one here this morning, said today... it said tomorrow is National Almond Butter Crunch Day. And I'm guessing, well, I know almonds are big in a certain area of California there. Are you from that section? Almond Butter Crunch Day. Well, good morning, Ron Siegel. And what was today? Is today really Dementia Awareness Day? Good morning, Megan Lindberg, Mallory Fotiadis, Kyle Mazikas. Great to see you here. Mike Morano. One question: do they not know about the internet? What the hell? I know, right? Kenny Rivard, good morning, Rob Stewart. Ron said I switched to Namecheap and they suck too. Actually, I think Namecheap is still GoDaddy. I think it's actually that is GoDaddy. But yeah, I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, no joke, of domains because of Originator Success and running all the websites. So we only use GoDaddy for registration and DNS stuff, but not for any hosting for our websites or anything like that. But even still, they bite. But enough with that too. So, all right, my friends. Well, let's talk about the good stuff here. Don't worry, we're not going to talk about the debate, at least not much. Let's go ahead and take a look at the technicals. Good morning, Mr. Mike Thibault. Great to have you here, my friend. So, mortgage-backed securities up 11 basis points on the day. They were up a little bit more. We had a high of 100.71. They're down about 5 basis points. So they were up about 16 basis points on the day. Remember, if we take a look over here, kind of the ceiling would be 100.78. So we do have some room that they could improve a little bit today. However, it's very unlikely that we see much happen. But rate sheets will be a bit better on the day. And basically, that should put us to where they are about the same as the beginning of the week. So we began the week on the 24th, 7.02. Today, we should be right back at that same level. You know, we really haven't seen things move much at all. But we should be back around that 7.01, 7.02 area. Should be improving a little bit as we come up and see bonds rebound a bit on the PCE inflation data. So basically, that inflation data, it helped us, but it didn't really help us that much. It just helped us kind of return to where we were. So it didn't hurt us by any means floating for the week, but it also, we really didn't gain anything. It kind of picked up yesterday and the day before's losses that were there. Yesterday, we saw some recovery, actually. It was the day before with the big losses. Today, though, reprice risk is low. It's a Friday during the summer. Most traders are gone for the day. Hello, Allison Foy. Great to have you here. Most of the traders are gone for the day. They're gone for the weekend, and we're not likely to see much movement at all. You see a little bit of drift. Generally, lenders don't reprice worse. As far as next week goes, the outlook next week's going to bring the fireworks. You know, we've got a lot going on next week. You've got the 4th of July coming in on Thursday. So because of that, we're going to get Friday. We're going to get the jobs data. However, nobody wants to take off on Thursday and go back to work on Friday. So you're going to see traders that are obviously going to trade on the jobs data on Friday, but we're going to see more volatility, probably some lower trading volume. And we are waiting for the other shoe to drop with the labor market data, the BLS labor data that comes out on the 5th. You know, we've talked about it before that this data just seems manipulated. And I don't know that it is. I'm not even accusing that it is, but it certainly has been off. And it's not really representing the multiple other areas where we're seeing weakness in the labor market. And weakness in the labor market is going to increase the likelihood of Fed rate cuts, because the Fed, here's how it works, right? The Fed's trying to stop inflation. Inflation comes when the economy is heating up. People are spending money. How do you get people to spend less money? How do you get companies to spend less money? You increase borrowing costs because people aren't flush with cash. They're borrowing money to spend money, and generally companies are doing the same thing. So when you make borrowing more expensive, you make saving more lucrative. Both of these things are going to help to mean that people spend less money. Spending less money slows down the economy, brings down inflation. Less demand means you can get an increase in supply. Like right now, when you look at the housing market, we're starting to see inventory increase because it's, after a year and change of rates being higher and people, there are less people out there buying homes. So anyway, one of the problems here though is that as you have companies that are making less money, then you start to see layoffs. You see no increased hiring. You're not getting growth. So the labor market starts to take a tank, and that's kind of the seesaw that happens in the many seesaws that we talk about. And looking for some equilibrium, the Fed is going to need to find what they call the neutral rate. So right now, the Fed funds rate, let's just pop this up side by side here. The Fed funds rate is at 5.25 to 5.5, and they use a range. The reason they use a range is that it's not an actual set rate. They can choose anything within that rate of a 5.25 to 5.5 when they're doing overnight lending amongst banks. So that's all the Fed funds rate does. As weird as it is, and the effect it has on the economy, it's amazing to me. So as we look at September, the idea of a rate cut is about 70% right now. That we'll see the first rate cut in September. If the labor market comes in weak next week, if we see the number of jobs created disappoints, if we see unemployment continue to stay at 4% or even tick higher, all of that's going to help this to improve and increase the likelihood that the Fed would need to cut rates, bring that Fed rate down closer to what we call a neutral rate. Neutral rate will help keep the economy chugging along, keep labor market steady, and keep inflation in check at around 2%. Now, the PCE inflation data came out this morning. Let's spend a minute and talk about it. The numbers that we were looking at yesterday, in fact, I don't think I changed it. No, I did change it. So, all right. The numbers we were looking at yesterday was a 0.1%. And let me see, PCE inflation. Let's pull this up. I'll show you the actual index. I don't know if you visit often. Well, thank you, Google. Let's just take a look here. And I'll throw the lock advice on here, by the way. Let's see. We want to float. That's the bottom line. We want to float. Float. Current release. That should be today's. Okay. So this is for May, personal consumption expenditures. And we specifically... Let's go to the current release. Here we go. So looking at where we were at, remember, we're looking for the core, which is excluding food and energy. So back in December, we're at 2.9. We were, actually back in December, it took December off. We were lower, and then it went up to 2.9. I think we were 2.7, and it went to 2.9, 2.8, 2.8, 2.8. Now it's dropped to 2.6. So we're seeing inflation move down lower again. The month, this is annual. The month core went from 0.5 at the beginning of the year to 0.3 for 3 months to 0.1. So we have seen the slowest increase in inflation this year. And but markets were expecting it. That's why we got a positive reaction. We are up 11 basis points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.26, but we haven't seen an overwhelming response to this. This was by no means a surprise. If we had seen it come in, lower than that, that would have been like some kind of weird surprise. So we didn't see any of that. So that's kind of where we're at. So anyway, next week is where we get all the fireworks, though, for sure. Next week is going to bring the fireworks, not just the 4th, but we got the holiday shortened week. We're going to have JOLTS data. We're going to have labor market data, the BLS jobs report coming out on Friday. A lot of reaction to that, and then things will settle down. So it's certainly going to be a little bit crazy. Yeah, I would float. we definitely want at least float into Monday. There's no reason to believe that we're going to see rates that are going to jump up. Generally, I think lenders are going to be a little conservative. Today is a Friday when it comes to pricing. So I would wait and see on Monday and see if we come up and test that 100.78 mark on mortgage bonds would be nice. Right now we're at 100.63. So we've got a little bit of room, about 15 basis points that we could increase on that. So good morning, Deb Dickinson, Michael Love. Good to see you guys as well. So that is it, my friends. That's the whole kit and caboodle. I am going to be playing poker tonight. First time I've been playing in a few weeks, so I'm excited to get back. Ron said Friday will be fun. BS report on Friday with a lack of traders working will make it very volatile. Yep, exactly. Mike said, sorry, reading news that rates will now rally, realizing what will happen come November. You know what? Rates will absolutely be affected with politics. However, not nearly as much or in the way that people think. It really is going to come down to the Fed funds rate. I don't think that Wall Street is necessarily afraid of a Democratic president again, and whether that's Biden or not, I don't want to get into this whole thing. It's just the one thing I'm going to say with this, and if you are a Biden fan, bless your heart. But the guy's been in service for a long time, and his career speaks for itself and his legacy. And I'm not gonna rip on him, but what I am gonna say is that it really does make me laugh that the mainstream media is just now, all these articles on Bloomberg this morning, the Wall Street Journal, Biden's disastrous debate accelerates doubts over his candidacy. The Wall Street Journal and the main, if I go to the main page on the Wall Street Journal, this is the stuff that I ran into this morning trying to get, Democrats discuss replacing Biden on presidential ticket. It's amazing. This just feels really orchestrated. It feels like they pushed themselves through the primary so they could handpick who's going to come in next. That's what it feels like to me. So I'm not big on politics. We're not going to talk a lot about politics, but this just feels the fact that now there is so much mainstream attention to something that all the rest of us, you've got to be the biggest Biden supporter in the world to pretend like you don't see that this gentleman has declining faculties and is frail. He's frail. He's 81 years old. He's frail. And the fact that they act like this is not a thing. So this will play into rates for sure as we see this all unfold. But not yet, and not as much as anyone is calling for. Ron Siegel said, just heard an expert on foreign affairs said if the world believes Trump will win, our foes will realize they need to do what they wish in the next 5 months. Geopolitics is one item we cannot forecast. That is true. John, you're always welcome to my home game. Thanks, sir. Crystal, good morning. And yeah, I guess you're bless your heart is. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up. So it's been wonderful seeing you guys for the week. I will see you on Monday. We'll talk about what's going on next week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Let me know in the comments, what are you doing this weekend? Let me know what your plans are this weekend, and would love to hear it. All right, my friends, I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.